Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our discussion on active learning strategy for effective teaching. My name is ESEB2063 and I will be moderating today's session. Our main objective today is to examine how various active learning methodology can support centered learning environments and how this effort aligns with sustainable development goal for quality education. Active learning is not just a teaching method, it is a mindset that places students at the center of their learning. As educators, it is crucial that we explore how techniques such as group discussion, problem-based learning, and collaborative projects can enhance student engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Today, we will focusing on the following discussion point, which is various active learning techniques, the benefit of this method on students, implementation strategies in different subjects and levels, challenges that teachers often face when using active learning. We will also dive into the core principle of SDG 4, especially inclusivity. Are we meeting the needs of all learners? Equity. How do we ensure fair access to quality education, lifelong learning, what happens beyond the classroom? Now, I would like to invite our first speaker who will share insight on various active learning techniques such as think, pair, share, flip classroom, and hands-on group activities. Please welcome Speaker 1.
Thank you, moderator. Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So my name is Shafi Abdullah. Today I will be presenting experience number 1. So I will begin by introducing the concept of active learning and why it's important in today's education system. Alright, so active learning is an approach where students are actively involved in the learning process. Rather than simply listening to lectures or copying notes in active learning settings, students participate in meaningful learning activities such as discussion, reflection, group work, and problem solving, all while thinking critically about what they are doing. According to Bonwell and Eason, active learning engages students directly and helps deepen their understanding and long-term retention of knowledge. This is a significant shift from the traditional teacher-centered method where the educator dominates the learning process. In contrast, active learning promotes a student-centered model where learners are encouraged to take responsibility for their own learning through exploration and interaction. In this model, the teacher takes on the role of facilitator, guiding, supporting, and encouraging students to discover the information, think critically, and collaborate with peers. Some of the most common strategies in active learning include group discussion, think, pair, share activities, problem-based learning, debates, simulations, and even the use of educational technology tools. These strategies help develop key 21st century skills such as communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. It means that skills that are not only important in the classroom but also essential for success in the workplace and society at large. Active learning is also a highly relevant to the global education agenda. One of the main goals of Sustainable Development Goal 4, SDG 4, is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Active learning support this by offering a more inclusive environment where all students, regardless of their learning style or background, are able to participate and succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker 1. That was a very informative explanation of the tools and techniques we can use to keep our students actively engaged. Next, we will move into Speaker 2.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you, student 1, for the meaningful introduction on active learning and its alignment with SDG 4. Hello everyone, I'm Christina. Today I'll be highlighting several key active learning techniques that are widely used to make classrooms more engaging and student-centered. Active learning encourages students to participate actively to critically and take ownership of the learning. There are several techniques which first one, think, bear, share. This strategy begins with questions. Students will think about it individually, then discuss with partner, and finally share with the class. It's a great way to get all students involved and thinking deeply about a topic. The second technique is problem-based learning, or PBL for short. In PBL, students work in groups to solve real-life problems such as designing a sustainable product or planning a community project. This promotes critical thinking, creativity, and teamwork. The last technique is role-playing and simulation. This method is especially useful in subjects like history or literature. By acting out roles such as historical figures or fictional characters, students develop empathy and a deeper understanding of content. These three techniques can be adapted to any age group or subject. They promote not just academic goals, but also life skills such as leadership, collaboration, and confidence. Most importantly, active learning transforms the teacher from a lecturer into a facilitator, supporting students as they engage, question, and discover. That's all for me, and with that, I now pass the floor to student 3 who will explain how these methods can be applied in different subjects and education levels. Thank you all.
Thank you, student 2. Hi everyone, I'm Fitri, and today I'll be sharing how active learning strategies can be effectively applied across different subjects and education levels. Let's begin with how these strategies work across various subjects. In mathematics, active learning can involve solving real-life problems, engaging in interactive games, or working in small groups. These methods help students understand abstract concepts in a more meaningful way. In science, hands-on experiments and collaborative investigation allow students to learn by doing, developing curiosity and critical thinking at the same time. In language classes, activities like storytelling, class debates, and peer feedback help improve language skills while boosting students' confidence to express themselves. Meanwhile, in history and moral education, techniques such as role-playing, case studies, and group discussions help students reflect on values and better understand different perspectives. Now let's look at how active learning can be adapted based on educational levels. In primary school, students learn best through playful and creative activities. Things like drawing, singing, storytelling, and group games make learning fun while keeping them engaged and focused. As students move into secondary school, they are generally more independent and capable of handling more complex tasks. Strategies like project-based learning, flipped classrooms, and digital collaboration allow them to explore topics in labs, work as a team, and think critically. Of course, technology plays a big part in supporting active learning today. Digital tools like Tablet, Padlet, and Google Workspace make it easier for students to participate and share their thoughts and collaborate with their peers, whether in the classroom or online. However, for active learning to truly succeed, teachers need support. This includes proper training, enough resources, and a school environment that encourages creativity and innovation. Because when teachers are confident and well-equipped, students are the ones who benefit most. That is all from me. Now I'm going to pass it forward to a student who will be talking about the challenge we may face when applying this learning and how we can overcome it.
Thank you, student 3, and my name is Raisha Balis Salman. Active learning is a teaching method that encourages students to be more involved and active in the learning process through activities such as discussion, group work, and problem-solving tasks. However, there are several challenges faced by teachers when applying this method in the classroom. One of the main problems is time concentration, as active learning requires more detailed planning and extra classroom times
to traditional lecture-based teaching. Teachers need to prepare suitable activities and increase the learning objective but still achieve within the limit time. In addition, large class size also pose a challenge because it can be difficult for teachers to manage the work and monitor every student participation effectively. This situation sometimes leads to unequal improvement where only a few students actively contribute while others remain passive. Another issue is the lack of training among teachers. Not all teachers have the skill or confidence to implement active learning methods, especially if they are more accustomed to conventional teaching technique. Without proper training and support, teachers may feel embarrassed about how to conduct interactive activities successfully. Here are some ways to overcome the issue. To overcome the challenge of active learning, several simple and practical steps can be taken by teachers and school. One effective way is to start with simple techniques such as pair sharing or short discussion, which are easy to manage and do not require much time. This activity can encourage students to express their ideas and actively practice and listen. For large class, teachers can use written rules in group work, which each student takes turns to lead, record or present, ensuring everyone has to opportunity to be involved and learn from different responsibilities. In addition, schools should provide professional development workshops for teachers to improve their skill and confidence in using activity learning methods. Through proper training and continuous support, teachers will be better prepared to plan, manage, and deliver engaging learning activity effectively. Now let's move to student 5, who will connect everything back to SDT4 and conclude our discussion.
Thank you, student 4. I am Elisani and I will be concluding our presentation by highlighting how active learning supports sustainable development goal 4. Quality education. SDG4 emphasizes 3 key components. Firstly, inclusivity, where active learning offers multiple ways to engage with students, ensuring no one is left behind. Whether they are visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learners, active learning strategies cater to different learning styles, providing all students a chance to succeed and feel valued. Secondly, equality is promoted because when group activities are structured well, they create equal opportunities for every student to participate, express their ideas confidently, and develop a sense of belonging. Regardless of their academic abilities, socioeconomic backgrounds, or personal challenges. Thirdly, lifelong learning is nurtured because active learning teaches students how to learn independently, ask meaningful questions, think critically, collaborate effectively, and reflect on their own progress. These skills are essential not just for exams or school projects, but for their future roles in society, workplaces, and communities. In conclusion, active learning transforms classroom into lively, inclusive, and effective spaces where students are empowered to think deeply, ask questions confidently, and solve problems creatively and reflect constructively. By integrating these strategies into our teaching, we not only enhance students' academic achievement and engagement, but also contribute meaningfully to achieving SDG 4 by fostering an education system that is inclusive, equitable, and capable of preparing learners to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Thank you all for listening, and we hope our presentation has inspired a deeper appreciation for the importance of active learning in creating quality education for all.
Thank you so much to all speakers. It is great to hear how this technique not only increased attention span but also promote a deeper understanding of the material. However, let's now shift to our main focus about the sustainability development goal for the quality education. I would like to pose a few guiding questions to the group. First question is, how can inclusivity be maintained in active learning environments?
So inclusivity in active learning means making sure all the students get involved, whether their background or academic. Teachers can use different methods like group work, visuals, or hands-on tasks to support different learning needs. Most importantly, the classroom should be safe and respectful space where everyone feels encouraged to take part.
Thank you, Speaker 2, Speaker 3. Next, what are some policy or classroom practice that promotes equity?
This is a great question. Equity in education is all about making sure every student has the resources and support needed to succeed, regardless of their background, learning ability, or personal circumstances. There are actually two main areas where equity can be promoted through education policies and through classroom practices. First, let's talk about policies. One important policy is inclusive education. This ensures that students with disabilities, learning difficulties, or language barriers are placed in the classroom with the right support. A good example is the use of universal design for learning or EDM, which helps make lessons accessible to all learners. Now, for classroom practices at the classroom level, teachers can make a big difference too. One practice is culturally responsive teaching, where lessons include diverse cultures and students' personal experience helps students feel seen and valued. As I said, promoting equity in education requires both supportive policies and inclusive classroom practices, where schools and teachers work together to make every student where they are, prepare a learning environment that truly supports everyone's success.
It's a good point. Still, Speaker 3. Last question is, how do we instill the mindset of lifelong learning in our students?
To instill lifelong learning, teachers should model and share their own learning experience, show students that it is normal to give learning to life. Teach them how to learn by using reflection, activity, and study skill, not just teaching content. Create a safe space where they feel confident to ask questions and share ideas. Encourage curiosity by connecting lessons to real life and allowing interest in topic. Use group work and problem-based learning to learn independence and teamwork. Finally, guide them to set personal learning goals and expose them to different research beyond textbooks. This helps them to see learning as a continuous journey, not just one exam. Thank you.
Thank you to all speakers that answered my questions. Now, from our discussion, I would like to summarize that active learning strategies not only enhance student participation and critical thinking, but also support the broader goal of ensuring inclusive and equitability quality education as outlined in SDG 4. Let us all reflect on how we as educators can play a big part to our students in this transformation. And last but not least, I would like to thank all of our speakers for contributing to this enriching discussion. Thank you for your participation.